can't hang out. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you could hang out, and you hang out long enough, you'll be programming. Welcome back. My name's Todd McLeod. I'm your teacher. I said to my wife today, I go, so I'm not sure which it is. There's like 3 options here. Am I like just older now and I don't learn as well? Or do I have false expectations about how quickly I should be learning and a misperception about, how I'm actually learning, so that I'm older and I don't learn as well? Or do I have false expectations that I should be learning quicker? Or is it that I am actually learning really quick, and I don't compare well? Like, I don't have a benchmark to sort of measure myself against. It's not like I'm learning this stuff with a group of peers, and I can look around the other 30 people in the room and say, I'm getting it faster than 12 of them, or I'm getting faster than half of them. I'm doing good, And so for me, like every now and then, I'm like, I have these moments where I feel like I am just really slow. I'm like remedial. Like, why is it taking me so long to grab these concepts, right? Like, it's like, holy cow, I've been pouring a lot of love, a lot of time into learning this stuff. And I look at code and I'm like, I've looked at that code, I don't know, and I'm trying not to exaggerate here, but like HTTP listen and serve at least 20 times for sure, easily 40, probably 100 if not more. Right, like HTTP listen and serve. Okay, where does listen and serve come from? Net HTTP package, right? godoc.org, net HTTP, and then we have listen and serve, HTTP listen and serve. And so HTTP listen and serve means it's going to be this bad boy right here, right? And it takes in an address, which is a string, so that's my port number. That's what I've been giving it. And then we also have to know that when we're serving things, and if it's going to be a real web application, HTTP serves on port 80:80. That's it. So if I was going to compile this into binary and serve like, here's my package of zeros and ones, which is an executable, which I put up on a Linux box on some virtual machine in the cloud, and then point DNS to it, I need to have that running port 80. Right? Okay, I've been doing my local examples, port 9000 or port 8080. And then if I wanted to do HTTPS, that's port 443, right? And it's like, whoa, that's just like a lot of knowledge right there. Just listen and serve address string, known port 80, port 443, okay, but I got that. And then it takes a handler. Okay, what was a handler again? And I come down here, and a handler, I click on handler, it takes me a handler, it's an interface, which has a method, and the method is serve HTTP with this signature. It means it needs a response writer and a request. I mean, this rabbit hole goes deep. Okay, what was a request again? Right? And then that takes me to net HTTP request. It's a struct. And a struct is a collection, it's a structure, data structure. It's a collection of fields to which we can then attach methods. Right? And so here's my collection of fields, and there's the URL field. And oh yeah, we've been using that one quite a bit. Right? So we look at the URL field, and there's like URL path, right? So I could get rec.url.path and get out the path, which would be everything after the domain. And then I could, how was it I get like the method again, right? Request method, is method in here? Method, and so new request, I was just looking at type. I came in here because I clicked on request, and then here's type request. New request method. Maybe it's just right here. Method, right at the top. There's my method. So I could do rec method, and I could tell if it's post or get. And then that's going to allow me to have one page that will serve one chunk of code if it's just like, hey, it's the first time I'm coming to this form. And then when I process it, send it right back to that handler or that chunk of code. And it could do, hey, this is a rec.method equals post coming from a form submission, and now I can handle that form submission. Whoa, right? Okay, got that. And to know that, I got to know how forms work, right? Okay, cool, I got that. And that was just the request part. Well, what about the response writer? Well, response writer is an interface. Trip out. The request is a struct. Response writer is an interface. I've got my write, so I could actually just call straight off a response writer. To write my response, I could call write and send a slice of bytes. And when we get up to looking at when we get up to looking at doing HTTPS, we're going to see that, oh, they do it that way. So here's HTTPS. I was doing this last night. HTTPS. And here's the code for HTTPS and ResponseWriter. And they just say W write slice of bytes this string. Because a string can be converted to a slice of bytes. A string is a slice of bytes. Right? Each byte is a rune. I don't know if I said that right. I got like 74% confidence in that one last sentence I said right there. Right? And okay, cool. So I could actually just use response, write. And then there's a header deal in the response. So I could go and I could look at the header. Now the request and the response, who does the request come from? Mikey, who's the request come from? Patrick, who's the request come from? Okay, so the client makes a request to the server, and then the server writes a response, right? Okay, remember, it's just like, it's just this simple, but sometimes I'm like, I look at this, and here in my network, right, when I do a request, and I look at that, it's like, okay, cool, what's going on here? I have response header and request header. Huh. Okay, this is what I sent over. I sent this over to the server. A cookie went with my request, and this is what the server sent back. They didn't send back a cookie. Okay, that's fine, but they sent back other stuff. They sent back an e-tag. Interesting, but this came from the server as a response, you know? And so even that, I'm like, okay, I got to stop and think about that. And then, so ResponseWriter interface, I got write, and then I have header. So a header in the response. Client makes a request, server responds, and here's the header. And I have access to all this stuff, right? So header, add, delete, get, set, write, hijacker. I got to learn about that. That name alone makes me want to learn about it. So what is this stuff? Get gets the first value associated with the given key. If there are no values associated with the key, get returns. Del deletes the value associated with the key. Add adds the key. Header is a map string, right? Type header, I click on it. And that just takes me to the code. And it's a map, string, header. And then I'm like, I think we used that for where did ResponseWriter go? ResponseWriter. And here, header returns the header map that will be sent to the right header. And where would I see like the different things that I could get with the header, right? Like different things are coming back in the header. But then it's like, okay, I got to do a little bit learning. I hit a wall a little bit. But then I'm like, man, am I just slow? Am I older? My brain doesn't work as well? Or am I have false expectations about how quickly I should be learning this? Like, because I don't have this cohort in a class that I'm learning it with. I'm just like trying to break the trail on my own. And this is a black diamond course, right? This isn't like, introduction to Python where we're just learning the things we learned in the first 6-7 weeks, right? This is like people who know how to program look at this and are like, whoa, this is challenging. So I asked my wife, which is it? Am I older and slower? Do I have false expectations? Or I forget what the third criteria. She said, probably some of all. And ultimately, what's the matter? You are where you are, you do what you can do, right? You get in and you fight. And that's it. And you only got so much time, you put in the time you got. I don't know. It's cool being a parent. Nothing's ever motivated me quite like being a parent and changes me. I used to be all like hippie, save the creatures. Now there's mice pooping on my back porch where my son plays. Those mice are going to die. Straight out, right? They're dead. I can't use poison. I got dogs. Snap traps didn't catch them, and that's breaking their necks. I bought these electric ones. They're supposed to electrocute them, but they didn't work. Put out glue traps. I wake up. The mice are stuck to the glue traps, alive. Stuck to the glue traps. Do I just throw them in the trash can alive? Let them suffer and die slowly?
Put them in a brown paper bag and twist up the bag so you can't see them. Put it on the ground and just step on it. Oh.
Sledgehammered their heads this morning in plastic so I could make sure I hit them right on the head the first time. put them out of their misery quick. Right? I wish there was a way, maybe if I'd spent a little more time, caught them, release them in a field. I don't got time.
That's why God made cats.
That's why God, nature's tough, dude.
It is tough.
You got to have a skill set to compete in the jungle, right? Or you're going to get eaten. You got to be willing to be like, I could code faster and harder than you. I deserve this job. I'm winning those customers. I made a better service or product. Otherwise, you're going to end up a community college instructor and you'll just retire on the job. And you won't be able to move if the air's bad. All right, that's my Rocky Balboa speech for the morning. We left off on 16. Anybody have any thoughts or comments? I just kind of like did group therapy with all of you. But I integrated some coding. All right, so we'll call that one introduction.